Welcome back to Sidebar here on Law and Crime. I'm Angenette Levy. We are 24 days in or so into the trial of George Wagner IV out of Ohio. That is the Pike County Massacre trial. I've covered this case since day one, since the day of the murders in April of 2016, so I'll take you all the way through it. George Wagner IV is on trial accused of conspiring with his parents, Billy and Angela Wagner, and his younger brother, Jake, to kill 8 members of the Roden and Gilly families. Jake and Angela Wagner have both pleaded guilty and have agreed to testify against Billy and George. Prosecutors say Jake and Angela admitted that the family carried out the murders so they could have sole custody of a daughter Jake Wagner shared with victim Hannah Mae Roden. Now, we've heard testimony that in May of 2017, BCI agents searched the farm the Wagners had just sold, along with their belongings, and found .22 caliber shell casings with the same markings as shell casings found at the Roden crime scenes. Prosecutors say they also found forged custody documents and that they found a Walmart receipt and a video of Angela Wagner leaving Walmart days before the murders in 2016, where she purchased Velcro gym shoes that had the same footprints left in blood at the crime scenes. On Monday, a BCI analyst showed a photo she found on Jake Wagner's phone that showed him holding a Walther 1911 .22 Colt handgun. Jurors also heard wiretaps on Monday, where the Wagners discussed a search being conducted of their former farm in June 2017, more than a month after they had sold that property and prepared to move to Alaska.
Hello? Hey, let me talk to Mom real quick. Okay, she's down to school with the kids. Are you going to do everything? I'll call you back. No, you just tell her, hang on. I gotta catch my breath. They've been down there 3 times. Every time. And each time they called Dwayne and gave him a courtesy call saying they didn't need permission to be down there. That's bullshit. Right. Well, you know why they didn't get, I don't think they got a search warrant, so I don't think the judge would give it when they done last time. Didn't find anything. Yeah. And I think that's why they're doing it down there and not at Granny's. And Granny told them to take a hike afterwards, basically. And the judge won't give you a search warrant. And down there, see, Dwayne don't live there. And they think they can just get away with saying we don't need it. And Dwayne won't come from Cincinnati to tell them to take a hike. Yeah. But they told Joe that they were searching for buried firearms and buried bullets. Fucking idiots. Yeah. There's a Bronco and Bobcat down there digging up everything. Where are they digging at? All around the barn by the house, all around the back side of the house, all through the hog blocks by the hog huts. There's enough scrap on down there to keep them busy. No, I know. They're digging up all around the garage that we had half built because where it had all that new fill raised up. Uh-huh. They're digging all of it. They're a bunch of idiots. But that's okay because this here, where they're doing all this stuff, search warrant and everything, we're going to tell the attorney that. And where all these people on Facebook have been walking all over that place and all over them barns saying this, they must be guilty. Who's to say what them motherfuckers don't put down there? Yeah, 32 motherfuckers. Really, I love that. Well, what they're doing, what they're doing is a load of crap. I don't know why they even think they can get away with this. I know it. But anyway, I love you. Okay? All right.
Jurors heard another recorded conversation, this one a wiretap, and it was a conversation between Angela Wagner and her mother, Rita Newcomb, where Angela Wagner urged Rita Newcomb to call the tip line for the homicides and implicate the Manley family. That is the family of victim Dana Manley Roden.
Okay. Yeah? Hey, listen, don't get upset. I'm not really upset myself. I'll tell you something. You know what you can do? I can't do it because I got an attorney. I'll tell you what you can do. You can call that tip line and you can tell them that we didn't do it and that you're not wrong and that you know what they're doing and that they need to stop because they're just deliberately trying to ruin our lives. Now, who am I supposed to call? The tip line that's on there. You can do it. You can call in there. Mickey can call in there. It doesn't have to be just a tip on bad stuff. It could be a tip on telling them that you know what they're doing. And that Leonard Manley Leonard Manley is a greedy old man that just wants the money from Sophie. That's what he wants. Sophie stands to get $50,000. And he wants the money because Chris used to pay all his bills and there's no money left for him. They're freaking poor people. I'm not picking on them, but they're like white trash, Mom. They live in trailers and they're freaking filthy, disgusting, and they lived off of Chris. And if they have Sophie, they get all her inheritance money, which is $50,000, $60,000 or more.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what they want. Because they have the ones that are doing this, they got the other 3 kids. If they get this one, they stand to hold a couple $100,000.
So that's the ones that's done it, the ones that's got the other kids.
Yes. They're in a little group together. And I can't do this. I'm waiting on my attorney to call me back and make a statement to the press and end this because they just dug up my whole entire farm down there in Keeble, Mom, over the weekend. They dug it up with a little backhoe and stuff, and they didn't find anything because there wasn't nothing down there to find. And now they're doing this because they figured if they post it, they'll keep us from getting jobs and stuff, but we don't have no money. And they didn't do their job right. There's 4 or 5 other people that are guilty, and they look guilty. I can't say that they are, but they look guilty. You know, it wasn't Jake's fault that Sophie wasn't there.
No,
it wasn't his fault. And I thought, you know, there's proof that she wasn't there because he had brought her down there. The BCI's got the proof.
I know they do, babe. I know it.
But anyway,
if he had enough proof the way he claims, he would have already arrested all of you. But he can't because he doesn't have nothing to arrest you with.
Yes, but he is running us, Mom.
Now, the jurors heard those wiretaps days after they heard from Angela Wagner's half-brother, Chris Newcomb. He testified about the Wagner family dynamics, his feelings about Billy Wagner, and the fact that he and George Wagner were very close in age, and he felt like that he was a brother to him.
Can you tell us the kind of dynamics between your sister Angela and her 2 sons, Jake and George? How would you describe that relationship?
On her part, controlling is all get out.
Okay. Tell me about that. What do you mean by controlling as all get out?
She tell him to jump, they jump. I think that's the politest way I can put that.
And can you tell us what her relationship was like with Billy?
You gotta give me a minute. Dysfunctional?
Do you think she favored Jake over George?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
From what I seen, Jake could do no wrong. Anytime they got into an argument or anything like that, she always took Jake's side over George's, no matter whether or not he was right or not.
Angela always favored Jake.
Yes.
Tell me about your observations or your experience with Billy Wagner.
He's about as useless as tits on a bore hole.
Okay.
I'm sorry, am I allowed to say that? Yes, I'm sorry.
And why do you say that specifically?
Lazy, didn't want to do nothing, always running his mouth.
Regarding Jake and George, was George protective of Jake?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
And as his little brother, he was always told to protect him, take care of him against anything, even me on occasion. And he'd protect him.
He took that seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there ever a time that Jake or George or Angela told you not to talk to BCI?
Yes.
And who told you that?
Angela, Jake, George.
You became aware that Jake pled guilty in this case, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Prior to that point, had you more or less defended them?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And can you tell us how you felt at that time?
Enraged.
Okay. Tell me about that.
If I'd have had Jake in front of me at the time, I'd have probably beat him to an inch of his life.
Okay. Why?
Something like that should have never been done, ever. That is a monstrous act, in my opinion.
You indicated that you felt enraged. Did you feel anything else?
Try to think of the word I'm looking for. Betrayed could be a word.
Now, Chris Newcomb also testified that he still loves George Wagner, but he said he doesn't feel the same way about Jake and Angela and hasn't spoken to his sister since she called him after pleading guilty. He was that angry with her, he said he blocked her number. Another interesting bit of testimony from Chris Newcomb involved the fact that he says George Wagner asked him to find a .40 caliber Glock handgun for him since he would go to flea markets and he was always buying and trading and selling items. He said he indeed found that handgun for George Wagner IV and gave it to him. A .40 caliber Glock, according to firearms experts, is one of the murder weapons used in the Roden and Gilley murders. So there will be much more to come out of this case. Jake and Angela Wagner are expected to testify against George Wagner IV. When that will happen, we're not exactly sure, but we will certainly stay on top of it for you. And that's it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar podcast. It is produced by Sam Goldberg, Michael Deininger, and Logan Harris. Bobby Szoke is our YouTube manager. Alyssa Fisher handles our bookings, and Kiera Bronson does our social media. You can listen to and download Sidebar on Apple, Spotify, Google, and wherever else you get your podcasts. And of course, as always, you can watch it on Law and Crime's YouTube channel. I'm Angenette Levy, and we will see you next time.